Okay, now let's look at example 5. Figure below shows that the 3-point charges are placed in the shape of triangular. Determine the magnitude and direction of the resultant electric force exerted on Q1. And given here the value for Q1, Q2, Q3 and the distance R12, R13 and the angle. Okay, so we are given 3-point charges, negative, negative and positive. So now it is in shape of triangular. So before this we are only given 3-point charges on the same line, which means on the same x-axis. So kita hanya gunakan satu axis sahaja. But now we have two axes, okay, x-axis and y-axis. Now we want to determine the magnitude and direction of the resultant electric force on Q1 only. Okay, so macam biasa, first step we need to do is to draw the electric force diagram. Okay, so how do we draw this? So kita lukis dahulu this one. Okay, let me lukis this one semula. So we have negative here for Q3. And then kita ada negative for Q1. And then positive for Q2. Okay, and now we are also given the distance between the charges. So this one R12, R13. Okay, so first of all we need to determine what do we need to determine again? Okay, we need to determine the direction of the force. Okay, because we want to focus only on Q1. So Q1 saja, maksudnya kita akan tengok force between Q1 and Q2 and also force between Q3 and Q1. Okay, let's look at these two charges first. So negative, positive, they will attract each other. So attract each other, direction of the force will be like this, F21. This one pun sama, they will attract each other, F12. And negative, negative, they will repel each other. So since dia punya garisan macam ni kan, so the force will also going like this. Okay, so this will be F3 on 1. This one, F1 on 3. Okay, so now since we want to focus only on Q1, okay, Q1 saja because we want to find the resultant force on Q1. So dekat Q1 kita ada dua force, F21 and F31. Okay, so first thing we need to do, we need to find the magnitude of F21 and F31 using Coulomb's law. So keluarkan formula untuk Coulomb's law. F is equal to KQ divided by R square. So untuk F21 will be equal to KQ1 Q2 divided by R12 square. So you just masukkan the value. K is the constant value. Q1 is given here. This is Q1, this is Q2, this one is Q3. So Q1 is equal to 1.2 exponent negative 6. Okay, remember you don't have to include the sign, the negative sign, to find the force. We only need to include the magnitude. And then divided by the distance between the charges, which is 15 centimeter, convert to meter, 0.15, and don't forget the square. And then you will get it is equal to 1.78 Newton. So this one only the magnitude. And then F31 will be equal to K Q1 Q3 divided by R13 square. And then just masukkan the value. And then Q3 is equal to 2.3 micro. Divided by the distance between them, 10 centimeter, convert to meter, and then squarekan. So you will get F31 equal to 2.48 Newton. Okay, so now that we have the magnitude, we need to resolve them into X and Y component. Sebab sekarang ni kita ada dua direction, kita bukan hanya going to the right and to the left, because we have the angle here. Okay, I forgot to mention we are also given the angle, which is 32 degree. So this is the angle 32 degree. Okay, so since kita melibatkan angle now, we need to resolve into X and Y component. So this one, ingat lagi, we learned this in the first semester, which is in chapter 1 vector. So we are going to use vector method here. Resolve into two component of X and Y. Okay, kita gunakan jadual. X component and then Y component. So masukkan dekat sini F21, F31 and then the sum of the force. Okay, so F21. Okay, F21 kita adalah on X axis. Okay, tidak melibatkan angle F21. So maksudnya Y axis akan jadi kosong. Y component will be equal to 0. And then since dia adalah dekat X component and it is going to the right, which means positive. So kita hanya letak positive 1.78 Newton. Now F31, this one here, akan ada F31Y dan F31X. Okay, kita kena resolve into two component. Okay, so now, since we are given the angle here 32 degree, so dekat sini pun is 32 degree. So now, untuk X component, it is going to the right, so it is positive. Y component going downward will be negative. So X component is positive 2.48. Since kita punya angle adalah on Y axis, so this one will be sine 32 degree. And then Y component it's negative 2.48 cos 32 degree. Okay, this one sama macam yang kita belajar dekat semester 1. It's the same method. So now, just tambah these two. Tekan calculator, you will get 3.09 Newton. This one negative 2.10 Newton. Okay, so this one kita sudah dapat the sum of F1, X component, Y component. And then the next step is to find the magnitude. Okay, to find the magnitude, okay, remember again we need to find Fy square plus Fx square and then square rootkan. So you just masukkanlah Fy is negative square and Fx. And then you will get F is equal to 3.74 Newton. So this is only the magnitude. You need to find the direction as well. So direction, gunakan tangent theta is equal to, don't forget the modulus, negative 2.10, 3.09. So you will be getting the angle equal to 34.2 degree. So since dekat sini ada modulus, basically we can just ignore the negative one. So you don't need to put the negative when you tekan calculator. So kita dapat 34.2 degree. Okay, and then last step, you need to determine whether it is below or above x-axis. Okay, how to determine this one? So ingat lagi sebelum ni, when we need to determine whether the angle is, whether the vector is above positive axis or negative axis, first kita kena plotkan dekat axis. Okay, so Fy kita adalah negative, right? So kalau negative, dia akan jadi di bawah, maybe around here. And then Fx kita adalah positive. So positive maybe around here. Meaning that kita punya vector macam ni. Okay, dekat sinilah plotnya. So this will be the vector of F1. And then angle, this angle here, will always relative to x-axis. Okay, dia akan selalu relative to x-axis. So this will be the angle 34.2 degree. So from here you can see that the vector is below positive x-axis. So ni adalah positive x-axis. Below positive x-axis. Okay, so this will be the direction. This will be the magnitude. So remember to always leave your answer including this one. Adakah below positive x-axis ataupun above positive x-axis. Okay, so for example 6, you can attempt this on your own since the pattern of the question is the same as example 5.